The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Be Kind Rewind podcast. I'm your host, the Big Llama. I'm the Big Llama from the Big Llama Show. If you don't know, I have a YouTube channel and I do movie reactions, first-time movie watches, and on Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also do a live show with my co-host, Blackout AD. We talk about pop culture, UFC fighting, gaming, everything. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're here to talk about is the movies. So tonight, we're going to talk about a very special movie, one of the best movies that's out there. We're going to talk about Goodfellas. And I couldn't talk about Goodfellas without having a good fellow with me, a fellow Goomba. The man, the myth, the legend, J-Birdy. So, Birdie, welcome to the Be Kind Rewind podcast, my friend.
Oh, thanks for having me, Llama. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you, man. I know you and I have talked about this movie, and I know you said you've seen it over like 300 times.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait. I'm excited to get into it. But let's talk about some ground rules. So, in this podcast, you know, I want you guys to understand this is an adult podcast. This is for the grown people. So you need a drink. You need a grown man's drink tonight. So whatever you're toasting, make sure you're drinking throughout the night. And we're going to talk about Goodfellas. Smoke them if you got them, whatever you want to do. And this is not for little ears. So put those fucking kids to bed. All right. So, all right. So Goodfellas is a classic from 1990. We know that. Martin Scorsese, got Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta. I mean, tell me just before we show anything, why is it one of your favorite movies?
I love the mafia history for one, and it's based on a true story, which is, like Godfather's a great movie, but it's not based on anything true. So they did a good take in Hollywood, a true story up, and it's an easy watch. It's an easy watch through. There's no boring moments in the movie. There's not a moment of the movie I wanted to skip through, even though I've seen it, like you said, over 300 times, which I think is why, they name real mobster names who I know their background story. So it's, it's a sum up of my favorite era of American history,
Yeah. And it's based on a true story. And that's the element that surprises me. But what I've heard and when I've read about the movie, because I've seen this movie countless times as well, is that as bad as it is in terms of the shitty things that they do, some of the characters were pretty vanilla. Like Paulie was a ruthless man, a ruthless bastard, and he just indiscriminately killed. But he's known as the father figure in this movie, kind of. So they play it down a little bit. But these guys were just fucking.
Menace to society.
Yeah. I mean, they were insane, man. They were insane. They did what they wanted. They killed whoever they needed to, and part of one of the most ruthless crime families in history.
Yeah. And
again, the movie downplays it a little bit, but again, you got to establish characters and shit like that. So, anyway, let's try to see if we can't rekindle some of those memories in our brains. Let's look at the actual trailer that was published in 1990. So if you were going to the movies, this is what you might have seen. So let's take a look at the trailer real quick. Let's hear it out.
Never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Hey, Mom, what do you think?
You look like a gangster.
By the time I grew up, there was $30 billion a year in cargo moving through Idlewild Airport. Believe me, we tried to steal every bit of it.
What do you do?
I'm in construction.
He's not Jewish.
Mazel tov.
What do you people do?
For most of the guys, killing's got to be accepted.
Hey, Henry, here's an arm.
Very funny, guys.
Here's a leg.
Here's a wing. What do you like, the leg or the wing?
us to live any other way was nuts. And we were treated like movie stars with muscle. We had it all just for the asking.
It's gonna be a good summer.
It was a glorious time.
In a world that's powered by violence, on the streets where the violent have power, a new generation carries on an old tradition.
So did you notice De Niro got top billing on the trailer?
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to go by the name, you know?
I mean, Liotta wasn't an unknown at the time, was he? I mean, he was.
No, I think this is his breakout role. I think he was in movies before this, but this is like his breakout role. You know, De Niro before this was in greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, I mean, De Niro's a freaking movie god. I mean,
yeah.
I always go ahead.
Ray Liotta this is the movie he's known for. You know,
right.
Pesci's only known for the mafia and some comedy category. De Niro's done everything. So you got to put him at the top of the billing. Yeah,
I mean, he's like, he's in the Godfather, Mean Streets. I mean,
Taxi.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah. Deer Hunter, yeah.
By this point, the man's a fucking legend. Like
already.
1990.
Yeah.
He's writing his own ticket. And I think he made, what's that movie? The Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale, yeah, he's the main character in that. You know, him and his son. You know,
but
yeah,
he directed. That was his first directorial.
Yeah, it was. Right? Yeah, he directed that movie too. Yeah.
I mean, he was just like, and again, I was genuinely scared of De Niro as the character. Like when, like the way they talked about it, Jimmy the Gem.
Yeah.
I mean, but Joe Pesci though, like, fucking blew the doors off this fucking role
because he was actually raised around the mafia in real life, so he's playing characters that have been around him his whole life, so he's actually being himself on camera. You know, he's not playing a role. This is the life that he was raised in, you know, which makes him the perfect mafia actor, from Casino to Goodfellas to Home Alone. You know, he plays you know. It's just he's the mobster,
but his fucking range, like the range that Joe Pesci puts up, like Home Alone to this, like
Raging Bull,
I mean,
he can play anything too.
And My Cousin Vinny, look, I mean, it was it, and you know what's funny is sometimes like you think, okay, he might get typecasted. Like, you know, because he was My Cousin Vinny, he was this guy, he was the guy in Casino, the same fucking character, just sort of different temperaments. But no, man, the range in the character, the little nuances. Like, if you watch this movie back and you really watched just Pesci's performance, it's fucking terrifying. Like you can get into that guy's head, man.
Yeah, I thought he was a mobster until I got older, and then my father's like, no, he's just an actor. You know, I thought he was a mobster who they casted in movies. You know, eight heads in a duffel bag. You know, he plays another mobster in that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but a comedic mobster.
And listen, but he was also in one of the worst movies I've ever seen, which is Gone Fishing. Have you ever heard of that movie?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of that movie. Yeah.
Let's just say that fucking movie ruined Joe Pesci for me for a long time, but it's okay. Now, I actually went to go see that in the theater.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
I think that movie made $100. 50 of it was mine.
Lethal Weapon. He was in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
He was the rat.
Oh, that's right, Leo. Whatever Leo wants, Leo. So yeah, I mean, these guys are prolific, but like in this movie in particular, I don't know, it's like the perfect storm of things, and all of these guys like put forth like a tremendous effort. But the one thing that has lasting impact, I mean, even above The Godfather, is the amount of actors that came out of this movie to do other roles, to do bigger shows, to do other movies. There's like 50 Sopranos cast members in this movie.
Paul is at the beginning from The Sopranos. He's at one of the beginning scenes.
Right.
He comes out the car.
when you first spot the guy, like that's what I do is when I spot a character, I go, oh, I know him from somewhere else. I'll see him the entire movie. And Paulie has a I think it's an unscripted role. Not Paulie. Is that his? Oh, Paulie Walnuts is his
Paulie
name.
Walnuts, recipe.
But I think it's uncredited. Because he's just a background character, but not if you know it's him.
He walks out the car and walks into the restaurant. That's all it is. But he's got the wings on the side, so you know it's him.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's got the
great leading lady in this movie too. Great leading.
Oh yeah, Lorraine Bracco, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
great leading lady.
You know, I was surprised because I found her annoying in my first couple of viewings. But again, I watched it when I was really young, and so not understanding all of the stuff that I was seeing. But her role, like as you watch it, just it becomes interesting in terms of what she's going through, and that it's also her arc, you know.
Yeah.
Because she becomes a drug addict, and she becomes, you know. So that's what drew me on her. Is like at first she just seemed annoying, like an annoying character, but it got better. It got way better as the movie went along. So.
Even in Sopranos, great role.
Oh yeah,
the therapist, the great role.
Now at that point. I was familiar with her, so I was like, "Oh, this is a good pick." But has she done anything else?
I've seen her in things. I can't point where I've seen her, but I have seen her in some stuff here and there. You know, just like the Adrian from Rocky, Godfather, and Rocky.
Yeah,
you know, but she really hasn't been in too much more than that. But she's in The Godfather, all three of them, and Rocky, the first 5.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
They kill Adrian.
Rocky H is dead.
Oh, we can't sign her. Fuck it, kill her.
That's it.
That's
Start
what it is.
Off,
Oh man. So in Goodfellas, you know, again, it has this crazy ass intro. Again, Martin Scorsese is a genius for how he starts the title cards in the sequence.
Yeah.
But we start with this ominous scene of, you know, them driving. Again, right off the bat, you're introduced to the life. There is no letting go of the gas. No. And you don't know who's in there. You don't know. You know something's afoot, but you don't know what the fuck's in there. And that to me was like the brutal hit over the head, which was, you're about ready to go on a fucking roller coaster ride. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And it starts with this scene here where again, they go check it out and they stab the guy, another 10, 15 times, and shoot him like 15 fucking times.
I love how the movie starts at the end and then they go to the beginning of the movie. I love how they did that. You know, because this scene right here is a downfall to their whole crew.
Right.
You know,
it's where the movie takes a nosedive.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point, like at this scene, or the scene before when they hit Billy Bats in the bar, that's when the fucking movie just like any control
is
that
gone.
You thought is gone. Everything is out the door.
Gone. Yeah.
And actually, up to that point, Ray Liotta's narration and the way that he's talking about the life is that it's very controlled.
Yep.
You know, we got these guys, we got them controlled, we got we got things set up, and then the Billy Bats thing happens, and they're like, "Fuck."
They should have just got this fucking shine box. That's it. If they would have got the fucking shine box, everything would have been all right.
It would have been completely different.
Yep.
Come on, Tommy, go get the fucking shine box and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't fucking shine shoes anymore.
And you know what? But the way they built up Joe Pesci up to that point, when he said, "Go get your fucking shine box," you knew, like the whole theater, anybody who watched it, you knew that this shit was about to go down.
Yeah, they broke a gun off his face. They shattered the revolver off the dude's face.
Yeah, which was brutal.
And that's the crazy thing about this movie too, is to me, Robert De Niro, Jimmy, is the leader of this crew, but he can never be a made man. So it's weird that the only eligible made man kind of takes a side seat to somebody who can never actually be a member of the crew.
Yeah. Because Jimmy ran the show from early on.
Yep. So when they were kids, he told them how to sew cigarettes.
Yep.
You know, and then, but technically he can never actually be, he's never a protected member of the crew. He'll never get the pinky ring. Yeah, there it is right there.
That's it. That's it. And I love the fact that they changed actors, but not De Niro.
Yeah, because he's way older than them anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know what fucking age De Niro is in this movie, but
35, I think it is, or 36, something like that. You know, but at that point, he's already in the life 20 years.
Right.
You know,
so he's wearing it on his face.
Yeah, you get it at 14, 15. You start like selling cigarettes. You know, but I love this casting though. Them two look just like when they grow up. They look just like Ray and Joe.
Yeah, and even the nuance, like for Joe Pesci's smaller character, like like he's got the voice tone, the mannerisms. He's like, hey, what's up, Tommy? Hey, what's up?
Yeah, the hair, the slouch. You know.
Yeah, he's got it all. He's got it all. So yeah, it was perfect. You know, and it was so cool to see that, like, because most movies have a hard time introducing characters and doing the whole who are these guys that you're supposed to, but like they do like a fucking phenomenal job of, hey, this is such and such, and Paulie didn't have to move fast, and here's this guy, and you're just like trying to mentally keep that shit in your brain. You're like, all right, who's that guy? But
I think it helps too that Martin did like I think 19 movies with Pesci and like 11 with De Niro, so the chemistry's there. You know, you're there, and then the chemistry is good enough that you can argue on set, and it's going to go on to the next day. Then that's why the movie was so perfect. Is there was so much experience on that set, it was crazy.
Yeah, and you know when I think Scorsese's a pretty eccentric guy. Like he likes things a certain way. He enjoy, you know, he has a certain method about his madness, and so. You know, I think if you've been in many of his movies, you just understand his process. You know, and that's I think what happened in this one is that you've got these guys who've worked with him, and they just know how to fucking operate.
Yeah, because he did Casino too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, you know, and same cast more or less, same main two characters.
Yeah,
you know,
but a lot of returners, right? But, and some guys got elevated, right, to bigger status.
Yeah. You know, and the only, you know, I would have loved to see like a Pacino in this movie, but I don't think he fits. You know, he plays more of the big mobster, not more like he wouldn't fit in a crew. Couldn't see Pacino sitting at the table with them in this movie.
Yeah, and you know, it's tough because like De Niro, you know, was young Vito Corleone, and so you could separate because you had Marlon Brando as like, the main Don, so you could detach and say, okay, De Niro did a good job, but he's not the Godfather. He's just you know, but like you take, you know, Al Pacino and stick him in this movie, and you're like, it's fucking Michael Corleone. That's the Don right there. You know, it's not, it doesn't work well.
No, because to me too, Pacino's the greatest actor we've ever had, ever, in my opinion.
I think so.
You know, I mean, the fact that he played a blind Marine, and he can go and play Puerto Rican from the Bronx in Carlito's Way to Scarface, and then play an Italian mobster. It's just crazy. You know,
I mean, yeah, man, that guy's a fucking chameleon. I mean, and Dog Day Afternoon, and he's done a bunch of movies where he is just a completely different character. So yeah, no, man. I mean, he is one of my favorites, all time great, and Scarface is probably the equivalent of what this movie is to you. For me. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's Pacino I don't think would have been a good match here, but
he would have had to have played Paulie. Like he's there, the hierarchy's there, let him show up for 3 or 4 scenes, do his thing, and it's all right, thank you, Pacino.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the guy who did Paulie, Paul Sorvino, he didn't want to do the movie. He didn't. Yeah, I saw an interview, I guess one of the makings of for like a featurette. He kind of like questioned whether he was tough enough to be in that role or belonged or had the presence to be, you know, Paulie. And he was fucking phenomenal. He was great. Like, it wasn't, there was no, like, that guy is Paulie, and he is, you know, I was afraid of that guy. Shit.
Yeah. You know,
I loved the whole he doesn't take phone calls.
Yeah, you got to run in the rain to the. My favorite scene I think of the whole movie is when he gives Henry $3,200, and he's like, now I got to turn my back on you.
Yep.
That's capitalize the whole relationship for them. That was the equivalent to "you broke my heart, Fredo."
Exactly.
He goes, "Here's $3,200. I turn my back on you,"
knowing that he's going to kill him. Knowing he's going to take him out.
Yeah, that $3,200 was like, get out of here.
Yeah,
like I don't want to do this to you, but get on a train, a bus, a plane, rent 4 bicycles, get the fuck out of the neighborhood.
It buys him some time. That's it.
Yes. And the world they come from, it's all it is a code. It's a word. It's a nod. It's a wink. And you know what they're telling you. That $3,200 I turn my back on you is get the fuck out of Dodge.
Right.
This is your money to rent a moving truck and get the fuck out. Because I'm not chasing you to Wyoming. So get this fucking money and dip.
Yeah. Take what you can and get the fuck out.
Yep.
Go.
And that's why if you're in that life, a friend of ours, a friend of yours, a friend of mine, they're all different meanings to the same 3 words that they're using.
Yeah.
And that's part of that code talk is crazy.
Well, I think Henry's response to that is like $3,200 for a lifetime of, whatever. He took it fucking personal, but like, he had to know that like you went against his wish.
Yeah.
Of don't sell that shit. Don't sell the crack around. Don't do this stuff.
Yeah.
And you fucking got caught, and that's
Yeah.
But he did. But like you felt it in that what he says like 32 lousy bucks. For he was pissed. He was pissed at that point.
Yeah.
Man.
But that was the code to me though. I turned my back. Get the fuck out of here. That's like you having to him. That was like having to kill his son.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do this. So get the fuck out of here.
Right. And again, he was looking older at that scene. It was later on. It was like, the third decade of this, of the life. But when he turned his back, it was pain there. There was pain there.
Yeah.
So, but it started with this, man. It started with the
not ratting.
Not ratting. Don't rat on your friends.
That's it. I got caught. That doesn't matter. You didn't rat.
I mean, he gets pinched. He comes out of the jail, and he doesn't tell it. I mean, I don't know that he had a chance to tell anybody anything, because if you think about like that arraignment scene where the fucking lawyer is there and he just gives him the smile.
Yep.
It's like what? And he didn't have a chance to say anything. He was going to say, "Your Honor," and then he's just like, "No."
Yeah, that's good.
Approach the bench counselors.
Yeah. He's getting out of here, right? Oh, yeah. All right, let him go.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
These guys did whatever they want with their bank account. That was it. That was it. You go and do jobs to make more money to pay off higher ranking people to go do more jobs. And that's the whole circle of life of what they do. If we want it, we're taking it.
That's right. Fuck you, pay me.
That's it. Fuck you, pay me. My daughter needs new braces. I don't care. Fuck you, pay me.
That to me was another great scene, which is like explaining the life, man.
Yeah.
And why you don't want to be indebted to these guys.
Yep. They make their money on racketeering, extortion, and prostitution and gambling. That's it. That's where they make their money. The drugs, the risk reward does not make sense to them. Right. It's like, we can do one deal for $1 million, but you get caught with that package in your car, they're going to sentence you to 45 to 100 years. You might be able to do 12, but you're not going to do 45 to 100. You're going to rat on me.
Exactly.
Prostitution, you don't get caught because the judges and the lawyers are buying your prostitutes. Everybody gambles.
Right.
They're doing the same thing the government does. They just don't give them a cut. That's where the government,
as they say, it's a harmless vice, right? Like that's how it was explained. Yeah.
And when they stick with the people in their community, they're not hurting anybody who didn't sign up to be hurt. They're not taking it from the working class, but if you come to me and ask me for $5,000, now you're part of this life. What I mean?
No. And that's the hard part, right? It's like you need the money and you know where to get it. And
can't go to a bank because your credit sucks.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
You give them $5,000 in 3 weeks, you owe them $7,000 in a month, you owe them $9,500. And next thing you know, you're selling your daughter's car to them.
You know who did a great job of that, like describing that was The Sopranos. Like they amazing episodes where like regular people got fucked over and got caught up.
Yeah, the guy who owned the outdoor store.
Oh yeah.
And then he gives Terminator. Tony his son's car. Yeah, the Terminator. And then he gives Summer the kid's car. And Summer's like, "Yo, I can't drive this to school."
He's like, "Why not? It's a car.
It's a car. It's like, yo, it's my friend's car."
Oh my god!
You know, and that's just the whole thing. If we want them, we're taking it.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Then you got this scene here where Henry's getting his ass whooped for not going to school. And
it's Paulie Walnuts.
That's Paulie Walnuts doing. This is the in the fucking oven you go if you get another letter to this guy's house.
Another fucking letter from this school better come to this fucking kid's door. You hear me? All right.
Yeah, so you got Paulie Walnuts and these guys enforcing and sticking the guy's head in the oven.
And that's a federal worker.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, they stood outside the post office. Is that your mailman, Henry? No, that's not him. Is that him? Yep. All right.
What's funny is, and I always, people don't want to hear my little tidbits of shit, but like that's foreshadowing. Henry's like, that's the guy. That's the guy. He does that later. But having seen the movie 100 times over, you kind of pick up on that shit.
He's like, "Oh, you know this kid?" It's like, "Yeah, you know where he lives?" Yeah. Not another fucking letter from that school comes to this fucking kid's front door.
I mean, but
but this kind of goes against what I just said when I said they only bother people in the life. That's a contradiction right there. Yeah, it's a postman. But he gets respect now. If another school letter never comes to that fucking kid's front door, that postman gets fucking treated like a king forever.
Listen, I'm putting in my transfer papers. I'm leaving the fuck out there. I'd be like, dude, these guys just put my head in the fucking oven. I'm out.
Yeah. Peace. I don't understand why people stay around. Like the dude who ran over John Gotti's son. You don't move.
Oh my God, no. Like, get out of there.
You ran over the Don's 12-year-old kid. And you don't even fix the dent on your car? Get the fuck out of there. I'm hiring a lawyer. I said, yo, sell everything. Right, this is the hotel I'm staying at.
I'm changing my name.
That's it. I'm out of there.
I'm the alpaca now.
Yeah, that guy was never seen again.
He's with Jimmy Hoffa,
chilling. Yeah, with Elvis.
He's chilling with Hoffa. So the movie transitions. So I mean, again, they do a great job of setting up the scene. What the life is, how these guys got into it early, introduce some main characters. I think, Henry gets all worked up over the guy getting shot. He 8 fucking napkins on this guy.
8 fucking
aprons, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching that. I'm going, why is he so upset about the aprons? But
because making a mess is a bigger deal than killing somebody to them.
Yeah.
My bar, this is my livelihood. This is where I make my fucking money. You're gonna spill blood here? I ain't even got no fucking lie.
Yeah. So 8 fucking aprons this kid.
8 fucking aprons this kid.
we got to toughen this kid up. I'm like, the dude just saw somebody get shot, man.
Yeah.
Like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Was he 12 or 13?
Yeah. He's sitting. Oh my God, leave him the fuck alone.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Then it does obviously a time jump. They go from now. I think what's missing in the time jump that's not in the movie, and I read this about Henry Hill, is that he joined the army or he joined the military in between. So I think that would have been like just take you out of the movie if you they had a story to tell, and that wasn't part of the story. The whole thing is about the Lufthansa heist, the whole movie. Everything else is just a branch of that. So yeah, like you said, the military would have taken 20 minutes off of the perfect movie. Yeah, no, trust me. I don't think him going to the military or the army or wherever would give this movie any kind of boost. It would drag the movie. So
Yeah.
no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So,
Unless he ratted in the military, it doesn't fit.
That's true. That's true. Unless there's something that they're trying to foreshadow. But I think not knowing the story of Henry Hill at first gives you that intrigue. Like, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
No one would have guessed, unless you knew about the story. You wouldn't have guessed that he was going to rat his friends out at the end. But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes for a better viewing experience if you don't know his story at all.
Yeah.
But then we fast forward. They're a little older. They're doing some heists and some things. They're stealing, trucks,
their own trucks,
right? And they talk about the airport, Ottawa Airport, that they control it. But I think the funniest fucking thing is how they get involved with these different characters. And I just want to show this guy on the screen. Maury's fucking wigs.
Yeah, you could swim with it.
Maury's wig, stay on, and he the fucking thing. But the best part of this scene, and I don't know if it was Ray Liotta like putting on a laugh or not, but I think he actually was laughing at the scene because De Niro grabs him from over the top. It tears off the wig, and literally, if you watch that scene back, I don't think Ray Liotta was acting. I think he was just fucking cracking up because the guy, he's like, the fucking wig, the wig.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if that was supposed to come off.
Well, I don't know, but I think De Niro was, trying to hold it together in the scene. But this guy Maury, man, like I felt so bad for this guy.
Where's my fucking money? I need my fucking money, Henry.
I could have dropped a dime 100 times on this guy. Oh my god! And that's when I knew this guy was gonna die.
Yeah,
when he said that, the best part was, you're gonna muscle Jimmy Conway. Go ahead. Yeah. And he just shut up. He's like, all right, okay, I'm good.
But if it wasn't for greed, they all would have got off alive.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if they had just done their part, but it started with Stax, man. Stax, Samuel L. Jackson didn't. He fucked up the delivery truck.
Yeah, he parked the truck out of his girlfriend's house, right?
Yeah, and he forgot to get rid of it, and he fell asleep, and
and they fucking blew his brains out and making coffee
with Frankie Carbone,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Hey, he sued this coffee to go.
He sued the Simpsons.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because they had a character they said that they took from his character from the Goodfellas.
Oh,
he didn't win though because parody is protected under the law. But
there you go.
Yeah.
So you meet the characters, start to meet Maury. You meet this guy Frenchie, his name is Mike Starr. He was in Dumb and Dumber, and he was in a bunch of different movies. He's the security guard who lets him in.
Oh yeah.
They do the sequence where they start. You meet the characters, right? This is Nicky Eyes and whatever
Michael Franchese,
Michael Franchese, and
There's a fun fact about him. He was never actually part of that crew. He never actually hung out with that crew.
Really?
They put him in there for notoriety.
Oh, the name Franchese.
Yeah, I watch him on YouTube, and he talks about mafia movies, and he goes, it's funny, they put me, he goes, I never hung out with that crew. He goes, I might have associated them once or twice at like a meeting. He's like, but that wasn't part of the crew, so it was very weird that they put me in the movie.
I mean, it was if you didn't know the name, it was just a funny name.
Yeah.
I liked the 2 times guy. It was
get the papers.
Yeah.
Get the papers.
But that's another way that Scorsese just like introduces all of these characters, and they're so memorable. Like Frankie Carbone,
hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah. Hey, you got Frankie Carbone. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Frankie Stabile, when you're like,
2 times, get the papers. I gotta get the papers.
Exactly.
It's a great scene.
Man, I fucking love this movie. But that's like introducing all of the characters, all the people, and some of them are bit parts. Some of them are bit parts. You never.
It was just for that scene, like Michael Franchese. You don't see him again.
Right.
That he's just at the table with them.
Yeah,
at the Copa.
And that's another thing is that's where that Steadicam comes in right after that.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple scenes after you do the Steadicam shot, but it's still, you see some of the same characters reintroduced. ordering of stuff. Let me see. You have in that scene, you have Frankie Carbone. I'm just trying to think.
Fat Tony, I think.
You got there's a Vinny in there. Let's see. There's a bunch of characters, but like you start getting introduced, and then you meet Tommy as an adult in there as well.
Yeah.
And you have that infamous scene that everybody knows, which is
funny how.
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah. I'm a clown.
I'm here to amuse you. And then there's foreshadowing in this scene too.
Right.
When he says, "I don't know about you, Henry. You might fold under questioning."
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's only appreciated in later viewings that you like the little hints.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's great. But this scene in particular, like, cements Joe Pesci's acting range to me, because you felt like you were just part of that conversation with them.
Yes.
As he's having it,
people in the background cracking up, they all get serious with him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you realize how many of them there actually are, because the whole restaurant is filled with them. 3-4 tables down, people are laughing.
The whole restaurant shuts up, and you know what's funny? Again, early viewings of it, you don't understand. I'm like, that's convenient. Everyone just shut up, like,
Yeah.
But later you realize all those guys are from the same circle, and they all know what just happened.
Yeah, they're worried that he might actually just shoot him in the head right here,
right?
Because he does pull the gun out of his pants. It's like, how the fuck am I so funny, Henry?
And then Henry's like, "What? The way you tell a story?" He's like stammering.
And then he gets him because he like flinches. Tommy flinches, and Henry's like, "Ah, you motherfucker, you!" And then you get that notorious laugh.
Yeah, I read that it was improvised a little bit. That he was off script. Tommy was, but I don't know. I
think there has to be. I don't know. I think great scenes have to be a little improv. I don't know.
Maybe that obviously Ray Liotta knows he's not going to do anything, but I think when he goes off the
rail
script, and they don't call cut, and they don't, like, people are just fucking like, okay, we're going with this.
Everybody's like, oh, all right, let's just sit here. No, we don't have any lines now. Let's see what happens.
Everyone got quiet, and they're like, all right, we fucking do something? Like,
he's not even supposed to have a gun in this scene. Where'd he get that?
Oh my God. And but yeah, man, this and then first of all, if you go back and watch the movie and listen to the actual story that Tommy's telling about getting
I've never paid attention to the story,
dude. He's like he's talking about a cop that pinched him, and he's like, oh, I talked to you, I tell you go fuck your mother, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, bing bong bong, and he's like, I wake up and he's like, "You're still here? You go fuck your mother." Like that story is hysterical.
Yeah, I remember. Yes. Yeah.
And then it like comes to an abrupt halt with this, and it's like, good God, like this is movie making right here, because I'm invested at that point in this movie. And then of course, Ray Liotta like gives his famous laugh, and and again, you're right, the foreshadowing. You may fold under questioning.
That's it,
man.
This is the scene with the tab too, right? He owes $3,200 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So you got I think the guy's named Sonny in the movie, but he was a capo in The Sopranos. But yeah, he's like, 8 fucking G's, 30 big ones,
Yeah, he said he wanted me to be his son's godfather. Yeah, I'll do it for $14,000, cocksucker.
Tell me I christened his kid.
Yeah, I'll do it for $14,000, cocksucker.
Oh my God,
that's a great point. Then he smashes him with the bottle.
Yeah. And then that leads to, and again, I don't know. And it's not explained in the movie, but like it leads to Henry setting him up with Paulie to get in on the restaurant,
And
which I
burn it
don't
down.
know that it's part of the master plan. I just think it's like coincidence. Like, okay, you need protection now.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it
you're
was
pissed
their
off.
explanation, get you deeper into the life, show you what they really do. You know.
Well, I always tell people it's like in an effective mafia movie or effective movie with a bad guy that you start to like, they always bring you back down, and they always like show you shouldn't like this guy.
Yeah, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, because you're rooting for him. Like you're rooting for Tommy, you're rooting for Henry, and you like these characters, but they need to show you that they're not good people.
No, this is I'm not your hero.
Right,
right. If you owe me money, I'll do the same thing I did to this guy who owes me money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? My mortgage used to get paid.
They did the same thing in The Sopranos. They did it in Scarface. Like any effective movie with a good bad guy, they will show you the brutality of being that guy. You know, I thought
it's
not pretty.
Tony had so many great ups and downs that you couldn't help but empathize with the character.
No,
in that movie, no matter if he was killing somebody or if he was taking his daughter to go see school.
Yeah,
Regardless, you were like, "Fuck it, this guy's awesome."
Like, exactly.
I wish I could be this guy. You know,
well, exactly, man. Exactly.
I killed somebody yesterday. I'm watching Ducks today. It is what it is.
Right. In his robe.
With a cigar. That's it.
Oh man! But then in the movie we get to the pivotal scene. So where the movie takes a fucking left turn and just completely loses it. We talked about it early on. The movie loses its control right here.
Yeah. Go get your fucking shine box. Yeah.
The great Frank Vincent. Rest in peace, Frank Vincent.
Yeah.
This guy was fucking phenomenal. This
Sopranos.
Billy Batts.
Billy Batts. Yeah.
I did like his character better in The Sopranos in terms of
he was a real fucking douchebag in this fucking movie. You know, he could have let it go. You know what kind of dude Tommy was, and you're irking him to fucking whoop the shit out of you.
Exactly.
Either way, you win. You might end up dead, but so does he. You know, and if he doesn't hurt you, just embarrass him in front of everybody. So regardless, it's a win-win situation.
Exactly. And you know what's funny is I listened to a podcast about this movie. Like I in preparing for the show, I was like, oh, let me see what other people are talking about. Somebody had mentioned, like, look at this guy's fucking party.
Yeah,
it's three dudes.
Like, and a prostitute.
Exactly.
A redheaded
I'm over here having a good time, and I'm like, what? There's three guys? Like, there's nobody else there.
Yeah, but see, they party different. You know what I mean? They have a close circle. He just got out of prison. He wants to see he only wants to see certain people right now. You know, those are his. That's probably his underboss and his fucking sergeant at arms. His fucking Capaetti or whatever the fuck you pronounce it. And then that's the three over there. You know, and then they was probably gonna have a bigger party tomorrow, but he didn't make it there. You know, he goes, all I'm saying is I don't fucking sign shoes no more. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god! And they had built Tommy up to this point. I think he shot Spider at this point, which we crossed over, right?
Yeah.
He shot Spider.
Shoots him in the foot, and then kills him.
And that's what Michael Imperoli. He's
another
Sopranos alum.
Yeah, Christopher Matasan.
You know,
whatever the fuck his last name is.
We talk about the Sopranos a lot in comparison to this movie, but the Sopranos paid homage to these guys. And there's a couple of scenes that directly like link it to Goodfellas.
The restaurant scene, that did a whole season about the guy who owned the outdoors store. Right. That was a whole season that was going on. You know, he owed them fucking 40 boxes of ziti from the poker game. You know, and then you just
run out all the Italian currency. Like,
he said, "How much she's in for us for 40 boxes of ziti." Holy shit!
Like, what is that? 1,000? 40,000?
Yeah, 40 grand. Yeah, 40 racks. You know, because they might be mic'd in the hotel, so you gotta do things, say certain things, like he might not make it home for dinner tomorrow.
I get you.
Yeah. It's awesome. But yeah, that one scene in this movie goes a whole season in The Sopranos. They based, and then he wouldn't buy Artie's restaurant. He wouldn't go in on the restaurant. Remember, he tells them, which is almost
that's right.
He's like, no, Artie. He goes, you don't want my money. It's like, we're friends.
Exactly. Well, because at that point you can't pick and choose. Like you can't be like, oh, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Business is business.
Yeah, you're my friend because you don't owe me anything, and I owe you nothing, so we can be friends. Yeah. And then you owe me 20 grand, you pay me back 20 grand, we're friends again, and you have to forgive all the ass whoopings I gave you for that 20 grand.
Right, because again, it's just business.
It's never personal. It's always business, Sonny.
So again, Tommy's in here. Billy Batts is in here. It's a recipe for disaster. Now, one thing that he says to Henry is after he goes off and goes to punch him, he's like, "Keep him here, keep him here. I'm coming back." Obviously, that's like for the audience to hear, and I know that Billy Batts didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Nor none of his guys heard that. So
no, because they would have left, or they would have been a problem right then and there.
Exactly, they would have handled that issue right there.
Yeah, that was fourth wall stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like exposition. Like, we just want you to know.
Yeah, he's coming back
for sure. One thing we glossed over and I forgot, man, is the Steadicam shot. We're gonna come back to this.
Yeah.
Because right after this part here, Goodfellas falls off the rails and it goes pretty quick. But the Steadicam shot, which is revered and talked about. We're playing. So for you guys listening to the podcast, we're playing the video actual edit of it. But for those of you on YouTube, you can actually see it. But we were not playing the music from it. It's a copyright strike waiting to happen. But yeah, the amount of technical work that goes into doing this with one take is just phenomenal. Like the choreograph. Now there's some extras in the kitchen scene. So if you watch the kitchen scene, a couple extras look at the camera, which pisses me off every time I see it. But
yeah, it's part of what it is. It's a scene with the mother. They do this. She does the same thing. They sit at the table with the mother. She like stares at the camera while she's talking to you. I thought she was in my living room.
I'd be one of those guys like I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the I don't want to be the guy who looks in the camera. There's a guy right there.
Yeah, these people are all extras. They're like, what the fuck is this camera and this guy doing in their kitchen?
Yeah, 3 or 4 people just looked at the camera right there.
That guy right there. The guy. Yeah, how you doing? Hey.
Yeah, how you doing, Henry? How you doing?
Yeah, if he doesn't interact with them, they're more or less extras.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they're actually working.
It's the camera walking, and then like the technical part here, when they get to the actual opening of the club, is now circling around, right? Because now they've got to now navigate through tables. The camera guy does, and get him to his spot. So I think that's just amazing. Yeah. So I mean, everybody talks about this, but I'm telling you, from a technical perspective,
it's awesome.
These one Steadicam shots are crazy, man, and it's just so much fun.
This is like a 4-minute scene.
Yeah, it's a 4-minute. I mean, and they execute, and then it keeps going. Like it doesn't stop after they sit down. Like, and then I think it pans right to Benny Youngman or Henny Youngman, the guy who was up
making jokes about them. Yeah,
right to it, and then like that to me is like pretty cool. Look, and they got the guys waving to him. That's awesome, man. I mean, that's how you do a scene, man.
What's funny about that scene too is that Henry Hill wouldn't have had that notoriety. He wasn't that big on the line. He wouldn't have been in the front of the Copacabana like that.
No, he was an underling.
Yeah.
I mean,
the made men wouldn't have gotten up and shaken his hand like that. He would have had to walk around every table and go sit somewhere in the back. But for the sake of the movie, fun fact, for the sake of the movie, they make him seem like a higher ranking member than he actually is. He's actually like a nobody. And if he didn't know somebody who worked at the airport, he wasn't even involved in the whole thing. He just knew somebody who worked at the airport.
Right, exactly. He wasn't the guy who had all the connections.
He didn't rob the airport. Nothing.
Yeah, that's another thing I couldn't understand. Like they do the Lufthansa heist, and he's in the shower.
In the shower. Yeah. They weren't around it at all. They were, they probably hired 3 people who didn't look like them, probably different skin complexion to go do what they needed done. And then everything got, split unevenly.
For sure. So this drink's getting to me, man. I'm just sipping over here. That's why we do adult beverages and we watch movies, man.
I have a cooler right here, so I don't have to go to my fridge and ruin everything.
No worries.
Just in case I run out.
I put a little extra in this one, so
there you go. I'm just drinking some beers.
But all right. So again, the Billy Bats thing happens. They take him out at the bar, and then they got to dispose of him. Now he's a made guy. The movie's now starting to go sideways, but they come back with this scene here, which is just
the hoof or whatever, the foot. I got the
hoof.
The hoof. Yeah, I gotta. It's a sin, man. I gotta cut it off.
I hit a deer. The hoof.
Yeah, the hoof. Yeah, he's like, oh, look at this picture right here. It looks like a friend of ours.
Oh. That was the best. Like one dog's looking this way, the other dog's looking that way. Then one's like, "What the fuck you looking at?"
Yeah. So what? One's looking east, one's looking west. The mom. It's like, you gotta settle down with a good girl. I do settle down, Mom, almost every night.
And I get up and I love you.
I love you. I don't need nobody else.
Oh my god.
Then she tells that joke that's hilarious.
Oh my god, you're always talking.
Okay. It's like, Henry, you ain't got nothing to say. I'm listening.
Again, that was great because obviously that's Scorsese's mom in the movie.
Yeah.
And she is a lovable character. It's a break. Like, I think the way I've heard it described is Scorsese was giving you a breather.
Yeah.
Because at that point you're shocked. Like they just hit a made man. Yeah. You're like on edge, and then they like give you this nice calming scene, like
mom making pasta at 2 a.m. And that's an Italian mother for real.
Yeah,
that's really what they do. You could show up with blood in your clothes, and they'll be like, "Listen, put it in the wash machine. I'll make sauce. We'll fix it." And that's it. That's what they do, and they're actually probably sitting there eating actual Sunday dinner.
I heard she did cook. I heard she. All right, so they have her here, and I think they did cook food. And then in the jailhouse scene, when Henry's in jail, it's Scorsese's dad, I think, or who was actually cooking.
Shit! Yeah, don't put too many onions in the sauce.
Right. I think it was him.
How many cans of tomato you use? 3 big cans. How many onions? 2 little onions. 2 onions is too many onions.
But I mean, it's those little nuances that, like, again, you gotta watch it repeatedly, or you miss them. You miss them the first time around. But
he has this technique with the garlic.
Where he slices it real thin, right?
And it melts in the sauce. There's a little bit of olive oil.
I tried that. I tried to do that.
Yeah,
it didn't fucking work. I don't have the patience for that.
When you're in prison, you have to have patience. What else?
I guess you have time at that point.
Yeah,
nothing but time. So yeah, this scene with the mom and with De Niro kind of hamming it up between him and Pesci, but Henry Hill is just observing. He doesn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. He knows he's in over his head. I mean, at this point, he basically knows they fucked up big time, and he doesn't know how to get out of it. Yeah. So, go ahead.
I think it's kind of cool. Like, it's also like Ray Liotta watching Pesci and De Niro be Pesci and De Niro, and right there, what can you actually say? Let them two sit there and be them on this scene, in character and out of character. It's almost like he's watching them. Just
Yeah.
be them.
And you know that their performance is elevating Scorsese's mom because she's just being herself. But like they both bring her to the next level with them because they're interacting with her, which is great.
Ray didn't really have a place there. He didn't have anything to offer to boost the scene. Just a couple words of "I'm just listening."
Yeah,
you know,
and at that point you can feel like he's out of place. He's not doing well. He doesn't know how to control this. He knows they're going to be in trouble, and what is he going to now? Again, he's not the guy who did the hit.
He didn't say nothing either.
Nope, and he lied, right? I think Paulie asked him, "Hey, what about our guy from New York?" And he said, "No, I don't know. He left the bar. I didn't see him since."
Yeah.
So
but at that's where your loyalty comes to. Are you loyal to the crew or are you loyal to the family?
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you turn on your crew, how could the family ever trust you anyway?
It's a no-win situation.
No-win situation.
Yeah.
You know, at that point in time, them three should have tried to just take over. Because if they take the seat, there's nothing you can do to them anyway. You pull a John Gotti. You know, you kill Paulie without permission, and that's it. You get you get one of your guys to take the throne.
You hope for forgiveness at that point.
That's it. And I mean, if you're the boss, they have no choice.
Man,
you know, and if everybody knows that you off the other boss, what are you going to do to me?
Right, exactly. Now you get building a reputation.
Yep, and that's what happened with the downfall of the mafia. People started breaking the Cosa Nostra.
Yeah,
you know, and that's where Paulie is. Paulie's the head of the old generation.
Mm-hmm.
Robert De Niro's that middle gap, and Pesci and Ray are the next generation. In Paulie's time, there was no Irish people like Henry hanging around.
Right.
You know, if you didn't have your finger pricked, you weren't sitting with us. You didn't come to the barbecue. You didn't fucking sit in prison with us. You were a nobody if you weren't making us money.
Right. And you know, it shows you how it evolved over time. And again, I think greed is the ultimate thing that gets you. I mean, these guys got way in over their heads. And they just wanted the power. So
that's it.
You know where it transitions. Yeah. You know where it transitions. It goes from good times, right? Then Billy Bat's thing happens. You know, Henry's starting having problems with his wife, and so they're like, "You got to get back with your wife."
Yeah, the whore in C6 or whatever the fuck.
The
whore.
What was her name? I gotta look up the cast list here.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God.
a whore in apartment C7 fucking my husband.
Oh my God.
She hits every button on the thing. I want you guys to know.
Oh God, what was her name? Let me see. Oh, Janice Rossi.
It's Janice,
Janice Rossi.
Janice Rossi in apartment C7 is a whore.
She's a total whore.
She fucked my husband. I want you all to know that she hits every button on the wall. Great. With the kids, she got the kids with her.
And then she ends it with, "Get your own fucking husband."
Yeah. And the other girl's cuddled up with her pillow crying on the bed.
Oh my God.
With her linoleum wall. with a 19-inch TV behind it.
Oh my God. Like that was like a time capsule of the 70s.
It was
right there.
Great.
Because like I remember seeing the movie and going, even for the 70s, I thought, oh man, that's awesome. The TV comes out of the ground. This is, you got this thing that the bar opens up. It's like, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. That's high roller shit. I never seen that before.
Nah, man, you weren't making cocaine money.
Nah, that's true. That's true.
You know?
Scarface taught me about projecting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the projector screen. Yep.
And the screen on the picture frame.
Yeah.
Sosa.
Again, cocaine.
The cocaine money. I just wasn't in it. I was
me neither, unfortunately.
Let's not incriminate ourselves on the Goodfellas podcast.
Natural limitations, dude. This is all hypothetical anyway.
Of course. It's
Yeah.
not there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
So they go to jail and then they get out. Obviously, Henry is now dealing, cocaine and heroin and other kinds of stuff. And Paulie tells him, "Hey, man, you did what you had to do to survive. Now get off that shit."
Yep, that's it. Does he smack him here?
Yeah.
He smacks him. Yeah.
I think it was an improvised smack too, because
yeah. He probably looked at him weird. He just smacked the shit out of him.
Like, what'd you touch my face for, asshole?
Great scene though, but that's a big form of disrespect in their community. That face smack like that.
Oh well, it shows you I'm in charge.
I'm in charge. Yep, Godfather. Right. You be a man.
That's right.
Smacks the shit out of him.
You can act like a man.
Yep, that's it. They even do it a little like they'll do the backhand. They'll tap you twice, and that's a little like,
yeah, like it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, that's a little like
So again, this is the spiral. The roller coaster starts going off the rails, and immediately following this scene, he brings Tommy and Jimmy in on the drug dealing. Like immediately, like the next scene over, he's like, "No, I'm not messing with it." Yeah. And then I had to bring in Tommy.
And see, like Jimmy took some convincing, but he did it anyway.
Right.
Paulie, you're not convincing. It's not happening. That's part of their oath too, is that you shall never deal with drugs. That's part of the Cosa Nostra oath.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when they prick your finger and they drip it on the saint, and then they say, if you betray this family, let your soul burn just like this saint. And they burn a saint card, and every family has a saint that their family goes behind.
Damn.
They have hierarchy, like the military or the Catholic Church. They got the Pope, the cardinals, the bishops. So you got like the underboss, the soldiers. They take
that's right.
the church hierarchy into the mafia life.
I mean, it's a perfect system. I mean,
if they follow the rules, they would have been president of the United States right now.
Exactly.
You would have had a vowel as the last name in the White House. They would have controlled everything. We would have had our Putin, and it would have been an Italian mobster if they wouldn't have been greedy and they would have just followed the rules that they wrote.
Exactly. And again, it's. I think one of the movies says like it's natural. It's the young overtake the old.
That's it.
It's a natural progression, but it also leads to chaos.
Yeah, but but if you follow the rules, you can take over. But follow the rules that the guy in 1820 wrote for you to follow. That worked 100 years before you were even born. And then there's always an old Italian man in a wheelchair somewhere in Italy who gets a third of everything they make.
That's it.
There's an actual boss that nobody, he lives in Italy in a compound somewhere. And that's who the actual money gets kicked up to.
You got to pay tribute.
To that guy. It. To whoever that guy is. That's the guy John Gotti had to pay his 70% up to.
Jesus.
And there's nobody knows who that is. You put it in an envelope somewhere and you mail it in the post office. No wire. You fucking put it in an envelope and mail it. And you better fucking hope it makes it here.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be hand delivering that shit, man. I wouldn't trust anybody.
No,
especially if it's my life.
Yeah. There's a big hierarchy, and when that hierarchy got ruined, it threw everything out.
Yeah, and this is a cautionary tale, right? They got into the drugs. Mm-hmm. They got into really bad spots. Now, Henry, if he was a stand-up guy, shut your mouth, you do your time.
Yeah, that's it. But nobody's doing 40 years for nobody.
Right.
No, nobody's doing 40. I don't care who you think you are. Unless you already did like a 20-year bid, you ain't doing 40 for nobody.
No. Not for this guy.
Nah, not by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Last time you did time, it was 3 years and you had all your friends with you. 40 years is a different thing.
Exactly.
Especially he's got kids. Your kids aren't going to look the same.
Well, that's why I think that's the problem. I'm not saying the problem. Like, I'm not trying to build the prototypical mobster, but like, you can't have family.
No,
you can't have family. You can't have kids. You can't have liabilities.
No, unless you can separate it, which is very, very difficult.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Like it, it's hard. I know that if, again, I'm not in the life, and I don't think I could ever be in the life, but I'm just saying, if I knew I had to like take risks with myself going to jail, or my stuff being seized, or the cops coming to my house,
or just never coming home again.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't do that with kids at home. I can't do that with a wife at home. I can't do that stuff.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, the perfect guy is the young guy who has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
When you get the families, when you have weakness, just my,
But I think you're more you should be more cautious. You have a reason to never get caught. The hothead young bull doesn't give a shit if he goes and does 20 years. What the fuck I give a fuck. But you got a wife, a girlfriend, and 2 kids at home that eat off of what you're doing. You don't get caught.
That's
it's just part of what it's just part. And then that's where the Italian Catholic culture comes in. You have a wife, you have kids, and then in the Italian culture, now you go do whatever you need to do to make sure that those kids and that wife don't have to work.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're, selling fruit on the corner or you're robbing your own truck for insurance money. Because they double dip. They get the insurance money for the stuff that's in there, and then they sell the stuff on the street. So they double dip into the everything.
Well, listen, man, you can't knock a hustle, man. I tell people all the time, like, look, man, if that's what you do and that's what you're hustling, hey, I don't knock your hustle. I may not do it and I may not condone it, but shit, I'm not knocking the fact that you're trying to eat. You know what I mean? So
yeah, see, I 100% condone it. If you want to take it, at the end of the day,
then that's where we agree to disagree.
That's it. Yeah. I guess I got a white shirt on, you got a black shirt on, yin yang. It is what it is.
That's it. It is. So then we move on to Tommy. Tommy gets the call. He's being made.
Oh fuck!
Right?
Yep.
But to me, it again, in later viewings, I felt so bad for De Niro. Like I felt so bad, like it was his son, like it was a good friend, and Tommy gets the call, and you got you sort of this setup of him getting made. He tells his mom, "I'm gonna be a made guy." Everybody's celebratory, and
the last word you hear is "oh fuck."
That's it.
He sees the clear tarp on the ground. Oh fuck!
Yeah, he knew. Yeah. In that second, he knew exactly. And these old guys, these old made guys, were the ones that took him out.
Yeah, because he broke their rules.
Exactly.
You weren't quite one of us yet. A made man might be able to get away with killing a made man, maybe, depending on how much money you make. Because it's all about how much you earn. That's where you get your hierarchy from. At the end of the day, if Jimmy Calloway was making more money than fucking Tommy was, you get more respect. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you don't need permit. But he got whacked. He broke their rules.
So I heard, and I don't know, I might get the facts sort of crossed, but I heard that Tommy in real life, the Tommy was actually messing around with Paulie's wife or something to that effect. That they don't get into that in this, obviously, but that's why Tommy got is because he done fucked around with the boss's wife, and I can see it. I can see that happening, and that's why they said Paulie was ruthless and he would have people executed, killed, just like Tommy does, but they didn't get into his backstory too much, and so. But when I read that, I was like, this makes sense. It makes sense for the fact that he got rid of a made guy. Like that's clear.
Yeah. But even other shit.
I mean, that would have been like great, like a good little like added scene to see him kind of like flirting with the wife.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or talking shit with her, and all of a sudden,
that's part of the spiel when you get made too, is that you cannot be caught alone with one of your brother's wives.
Right.
Even when if you're going to go drop money off and she's home alone, you're supposed to bring somebody with you.
No, for sure.
And they prefer if you bring a child, because you're not going to leave the child by itself.
Yeah. No, I mean, I again, that scene right there, and then De Niro's reaction. Oh my God, when he was slamming the payphone and crying.
Yeah.
And he was sobbing.
Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Like that scene again. Even the 100th time I've watched it, I feel for De Niro at that moment. You know, like
you said, that's his son. You know, somebody just called you and said, "Yo, your son is, gone." That's it.
Listen, the best is that dialogue.
Yeah.
Hey, he's gone, and there's nothing we could have done about it. Like,
yeah.
And there's nothing we could have done. That's it.
But they're so numb to it. You know, you mourn for that 30 seconds. You'll mourn if he has a funeral, but they shot on the back of the head, so this castle's gonna be closed, so you'll never see him again.
Mm-hmm.
You might go pay your respects, and the guy who shot him will be sitting right next to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, especially being half Irish and you're not actually part of this clique.
Right. You'd be lucky you get to see the casket. Like, you might want to stay away at that point.
But that's where the respect comes from. You know, they're not, depending on what you do, they're not supposed to shoot you above the shoulders.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that your mother gets a chance to see you again.
Damn.
Depending what you have done. You know, and there's things that they'll shoot you in the chest and then empty 12 in your face. You know, you're dead already, but you'll never be seen again by anybody. And they'll let your body be found, but you'll never be seen again.
Yeah.
You know, they're identifying you by your dental records.
Yeah, 12 to the face, man. That's okay.
And that's you doing that knowing he's dead already.
Right.
You know, like he's already dead. And you're sitting there, shoot at him 12 more times in the face.
Just unload. That would be me with a zombie.
Yeah.
If I knew a zombie was like, I'd shoot him 12 times in the face.
But then you leave the gun, take the cannolis.
That's it.
Technology also beat the mafia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because there's so much counterintelligence and surveillance.
They used to just literally leave the gun there. Like, you don't have the gun's not on me. You can't put me at the scene.
Right, they were unmarked and taped and everything else.
Yeah. And the fingerprints wasn't really a thing, especially if you've never been arrested before. You have no fingerprints on file. You know?
It's true.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, it's one of those things. Now, the great thing about this movie is it gives you, I think it's 15 minutes of fucking anxiety-inducing cinema. Like, the next couple of scenes are Henry's coked out, dodging the helicopter.
Yep.
And the sequence is just completely different than the entire movie. Like it could be a short film on its own.
Yeah. Don't fucking use the house phone.
Oh my God.
And then she hangs up and calls the airline on the fucking house phone.
Oh my God. I hated his transport lady. What the fuck was her name?
The babysitter.
I gotta have my hat. I need my hat. I'm like,
hat.
What the fuck? Stupid bitch with your stupid hat.
His brother's just mixing the sauce. He's supposed to be hanging out with his brother.
And then they're eating like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, who eats at 11 o'clock at night?
Because he wanted to eat dinner with his brother.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I gotta get my luck. I won't fly without my lucky hat.
Yeah. Is this a different baby? Because she was a babysitter, so she would take the kid she was babysitting and fly over to.
Oh my God.
No, could you imagine not knowing, like, you're at work and you trusting this 16-year-old girl with your kid, and she's in Colombia?
She's just picking up the yayo and then flying right back.
Fly right back. You'll never know until she gets arrested.
I mean, and what's funny is like this sequence, right? It's the beginning of the end. You can clearly see all the fuck ups, like from beginning to end, from the phone call she makes to him trying to sell the silencers and can't get rid of them.
They don't fit the gun. How the fuck am I gonna buy a silencer? They don't fit the fucking gun.
And he tells him stay off that shit. But like clearly coked out of his mind. like just having a nervous breakdown. But Lorraine Bracco, his wife at that point, this is her arc. This is where she goes from a wholesome character, and she slowly got there. But I mean, you kind of see like, oh shit, she's in this life too now. Like she's not alone.
She got powed in this thing right here.
Yeah, and then she meets with the drug dealer, and they're like, "Hey, let me get a hit." Like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Like, that's when I was like, "Oh man, she's gone. She's foregone, and there's no coming back on this one."
Flush the coke.
Oh god,
That's all we fucking had. That's all we had. They were gonna find it. They weren't gonna fucking find it.
Oh my god,
they would have found it, Henry.
Oh man. But yeah, that's like the begin. Like that to me was encapsulated the entire movie. It was like the control was gone, the lifestyle was gone. He had made enemies. Everything he said,
ironed.
Yeah, oh yeah, he looked like shit.
That's how you know his wife's on this shit too, because she let him leave the house like that.
No, I mean. Honestly, like everything he said up to that point, again, you can dissect the movie from beginning to end. He tells you about the control. He tells you about the life, how they have things set up, how they do this, and then that one moment it goes sideways and he can't control it, and it just falls off the fucking rails. And I love the movie that it takes that dive, and then it just crashes and burns. Man, it's like freeze, fucker, we got you.
That's
What is he making? Cake? You making a cake? You know?
Because covered in. Oh my god!
But what's cool is all the people who weren't in the life, right? Who weren't there with him in the beginning got roped up. Like the girlfriend, the babysitter, the wife. Everybody's there.
Yep.
They're all in for the ride, and they're all going to sell him out.
Unless he sells out the bigger boss,
right? But when he I think you know this already, but when he meets with the guy who offers some witness protection, that's the actual arresting officer, right? That offered Henry Hill.
Yeah. I've seen him in like documentaries. They have like a A&E mobster biography, and it's Goodfellas.
Yeah.
So they talk about the crew and they tell you everything that the movie doesn't. That's where I got that part when they were like, he was like, Henry Hill wouldn't have just walked through the Copa like that and sat in front of made men. They were like, he would have been in the back. He couldn't even be a made guy. But that's where I got that. I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of fucking sense.
It does.
They're treating him like John Gotti. Like, hey, come on in. You fucking put your table in front of anybody.
Yeah, he's a low-level guy. He's again, he can be pretty important and he's got a good role, but shit, he's not.
In the story they're telling, he's very prominent.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the whole, he's an ant, in the jungle, but in the story they're telling, he is, the main character.
Yeah, I mean, if you get him, you don't have the empire. Like,
exactly.
You have a couple of underlings and some low-level enforcers, but that's it. Like,
but even like Paulie in this movie, he's not the Don. He's the head of that crew. Right. So this whole movie is just about a crew. There's a bigger picture to this. I'm not sure who was in charge of the family in that time. It might have been the originals. It might have been like Carlo Gambino or one of those guys.
Yeah.
But
wasn't it? It wasn't Lucchese. No,
I think that's
earlier.
No, but I think that's the family that they're a part of, I think, actually. In that movie. Because there's 5 families, just like The Godfather, but different names.
Yeah.
But I think the OGs were still the original American Dons were still in charge at that point in time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So even like Paulie, he's just like a crew captain. There's like 4 or 5 levels above him until you get to like the guy. Which is pretty good.
Yeah, Paulie's territorial. Like in that territory, he's running the show. But there's
you go
much
Google
more.
Earth and zoom out. There's other shit going on around that.
Yeah.
He runs the corner store.
Yeah, I think they just tried to do like a small analysis of the life, right? How these guys live. The story is compelling, even if
absolutely.
even if some of it, people claim is made up, right? From Henry Hill's perspective, but the movie's compelling. The story is good.
Yeah, and in the story they're telling, those are the big guys in that story they're telling, the Kanza heist or whatever. This is who they're talking about.
And you know what, man? It makes you understand even at that low level, the amount of money that goes through and the crimes and the life and how.
I forgot the actual amount they leave with the Lufthansa heist. I forgot. But at the time, it was the largest heist in American history.
Yeah,
the movie they put 7, 8, whatever the hell they say. Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 or something in real life. But you're talking 1972. You know what I'm saying? Where Paulie probably got to keep 0.5 of that.
Exactly.
Probably had to kick up a mil. 1.2, and then everybody else split about $500,000.
Yeah.
So that heist, Paulie could have retired, but you don't retire.
No, there's no retirement plan in the mafia.
You step to the side. You can let somebody else take the reins, but now you also lose your cut. You don't get your 30% anymore. Your connections give you 10%, and you get to sit at home now.
Yeah.
But now there's an agreement. This is what you get. I'm taking your blocks over.
Right. You can give advice from time to time, and
that's it. You're still part of the family, but you're 92 years old. We don't need you chilling outside of the social club.
You're relegated to advisor.
It's like Junior. Like, listen, dude. You're the head of the family, Uncle June.
Yes, you are.
But don't leave the fucking house. Sit on the couch.
Exactly.
Yep.
So then, Henry during the, at the end of the movie, gets the offer for witness protection. Mm-hmm. He takes it and sells everybody out. And then there's a great sort of ending to it, which is that fourth wall break of.
Oh, awesome.
That's it. Like he's talking to the audience now. Like fuck this. It's over. Yeah. Let me tell you. And then the best line at the end is, "I get to live my life like a schnook."
Yep. I asked for spaghetti and sauce. I get noodles and ketchup. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the best description of like I'm like at that point I'm like I get it. I get what you're saying. Oh man, but yeah, I mean, I think the most surprising part is how long these guys lived, and what I couldn't understand early, and I still don't understand, how Henry Hill was allowed to live.
Witness protection. They don't know where he lives.
But after he became he was on Howard Stern. He was on
because all those people are dead or in prison. So the crew that's after you is no longer a threat to you.
Man, I would hide for life, man. I would be like, you ain't gonna see me again.
But he knows how the life works. Yeah. He knows how the life works, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 30 years later. My deed has been done. Same with the Bulls on reality television now.
That's true. That's very true. And the Francesi guy's on
he's on YouTube
podcast.
Because the people that would be after them are dead or in prison. Michael Francesi showed a list from I think 1990, the top 50 biggest mobsters. Francesi was like number 23, and he's like, I'm the only one on this list who's either free or alive. 49 out of the 50 people on that list are dead or in prison for the rest of their life.
Jesus.
He's the only one who made it.
I remember watching and seeing for the first time that it was based on a true story. Like you forget it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And then you read the end credits and the prologue or the thing at the end, and you're like, oh shit, and you're doing the math. Like, oh, is this guy still alive? Is it and I think the first time I watched it, I didn't have Google back then. I think it was in later viewings. I went up to the computer and was like, "Oh, let me find out if these guys are even still fucking alive."
I think Jimmy Conway just died not too long ago. I think I remember seeing that. But if you look at those dates, we're past those dates now.
Yeah,
of like
exactly.
their parole dates. Like we're past the dates that they were going to be paroled. It's like 2019 or something. You know, I think Henry Hill just died too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you know.
So, but again, one of the great masterpieces of cinema. I mean, it's required viewing for anybody who
including you, AD. You better watch this and watch this movie.
Exactly. Okay? AD, you won't appreciate the podcast if you don't watch the movie.
Yeah.
So if he says, "Oh, I love spoilers," and he's gonna probably watch this podcast and be like, "I know the whole movie now."
No, you don't though. The scenes that these people portray in these movies, it's just different. Yeah, it's just different. You know.
Yeah, no. And you have to watch it. And you have to and you have to enjoy it. And it demands repeat viewing. It's not you can't do a one and done. And this is one of those movies that when I sit down or I see it on TV, I watch. Like if it's on.
Thank you, A&E.
If it's on and I happen to flip on it, it's stuck. It's done.
There. It's usually Goodfellas, Bronx Tale, and Casino usually comes on. It's the trifecta. You know, it's like, here you go. Here's the 3 of the greatest movies in the highest era of American cinema right here.
Oh my God.
Watch it.
And listen, I let my kids watch this movie and they were a little younger. But they love this movie. Like they love this one. They love Casino, The Godfathers, and so
I will give it to Goodfellas. It's an easier movie to watch than The Godfather is.
Oh yeah,
The Godfather is not an easy sit through, but somebody who's seen that movie probably 15 times knows how good it is. That I'll sit through it another 15 times. You know, I just watched the trilogy. It took me 3 weeks, but I did it.
Listen, I tell the story all the time. I watched the 7-hour cut of 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, when I tell you,
Coppola's the man.
I wish I can find. I will pay top dollar for it if I can find it. It's the Godfather saga. It was like a mini series that they cut for TV, and then HBO. I think 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little bit more, ran that movie in its entirety, the entire saga. It's a 6.5 hour saga it's in chronological order. And it has deleted scenes. When I tell you that shit just made, like, again, you have to have watched it a couple times to appreciate that cut. But man, it was a whole different movie experience. Yeah. From beginning to end.
2 is just as good as 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can watch some of 2 first. So the fact that it's in chronological order is great.
I mean, listen, you go from De Niro to Brando in that cut.
Yeah. To Pacino.
Yeah. And it's
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, trust me. I've watched it.
I gotta watch that. I'll find it and I'll find it.
Find it, man. Find it in the dark web.
Yeah, that's I have to watch that. You know?
I'm telling you, and there's it.
The rise of Michael, the fall of Vito is crazy at the same time. The fall of Michael and the rise of Vito at the same time. Right.
And you know how the Fabrizio and those guys who bombed Michael's first wife.
Yeah.
There's a whole sequence where he finds them. He finds the guy.
Really?
It's a whole sequence where he orders the hit. He finds out where this guy's making pizza in like a Brooklyn pizza shop, and he fucking orders the hit, and they take him out.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was so good that I wish at that time I would have looked for the physical media of it because.
I'll find it, dude.
Yeah, if you can find it, man, let me know. I'm gonna definitely buy it.
That's and the third one doesn't get enough respect. It's not as good, obviously, as 1 and 2, but I feel like if I was around and I saw 1 and 2 when it came out, and 3 came out, I'd be like, "Wow, all right,
yeah,
good job."
No, trust me, 3 is good. 3 is a good one, and it is not as good as the first 2, and that's okay.
It's not,
but
no, it's not. It's a nostalgia reach, he gets back with the baby mama and does his thing. Exactly. But they got too much into the church, which was the to show you how. Let me show you how big I am. The Pope is asking me for bread.
Well, listen, that's how I learned about how they pick popes.
Yeah. This is a different podcast, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Different episode.
So, all right, so we're gonna wrap up the podcast, but I think Birdie, we can agree that this is one of the great movies of all time.
Of all time.
I mean, again, it demands rewatching. It does not get bad like over time. Like, some movies you go, oh, I thought that was good. Then you watch it later and you go, that wasn't that good. This is not that movie. So no, I definitely recommend it to anybody who's seen it. And if you've watched it and you're listening to the podcast, watch it again. Yeah,
that's it.
After you hear our talk about it, go watch it again. You'll see those little nuances we're talking about.
And listen, Hollywood, don't fucking remake this shit.
Okay?
No, you fucking leave it the fuck away it is. Okay, I don't need to see fucking Tom Holland as fucking Henry Hill. Leave it the fuck alone.
Okay? Yeah, some things don't need to be touched, man.
No,
some things don't need to be touched.
Even the rumors about Scarface I'm hearing, Hollywood, cut it the fuck out. Okay?
I know.
I don't need to see Leo as Tony Montana. It doesn't need to fucking happen.
Like, if you want to tell the same story, I'm okay with that because I think Leo would be awesome, but don't call him Tony Montana.
Yeah, and don't turn into Romeo and Juliet. We don't need to see any of that.
So Birdie, I think we're definitely going to get you back on to do another movie. I think we can pick from a plethora of gangster movies. We got Casino. We can pick Godfather, Heat. We can do a bunch of movies. So we're definitely going to have the Bird back on. But Birdie, thank you so much for joining me on tonight's podcast. Thank you for talking the Goodfellas with me. It's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate you being on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you, Llama. It was a fantastic time being here. Awesome movie. AD, that's for you, AD. Awesome is for you, AD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
AD doesn't see movies that are older than he is, he says. But
exactly.
This one.
As a co-founder, as the GOGs, you need to watch this movie.
Maybe do a Discord watch along, man. Maybe just
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
I think we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right, let me sign off.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Birdie. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, guys, if you like this type of podcast, if you like, make sure you give us a 5-star review. Make sure you you follow the Be Kind Rewind podcast. If you watch this on YouTube, this is going to be on the Big Llama Show channel. We've got movie reactions. We got our live show, and we're going to have this podcast there every time that we do it. We're still thinking about a schedule for it, but guys, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what kind of movies you'd like us to review. If there's a movie you'd like us to review, let us know and we'll revisit it. So guys, again, I'm the Big Llama. This is the Be Kind Rewind podcast, and we're going to see you on the next one.